Hey guys, Ramsey here. Welcome to another video. Today we have a review of a discontinued, expensive Roja Dove fragrance from 2015, maybe the most ridiculous name of all time. It is called H, the exclusive Parfum. Pour Homme. Parfum. Yes, that is the name. H, the exclusive Parfum, Pour Homme, Parfum. If you don't believe me, there it is right there. Let's talk a little bit about this. But actually, before we do, I have an unboxing. It's been a while since I've done an unboxing, and actually, this is thanks to the generosity and kindness of my good friend Anuj from Enchante Perfumes. Thank you, Anuj. Actually, I'll tell you how this ended up happening. I wrote Anuj and I asked for a specific fragrance, and I said, "Hey, man, do you have this by any chance?" And he said, "I just sold my last 2 bottles. I know you like the eau de toilette, Ramsey, but I actually have an aftershave that, and this is a very hard fragrance to find, that I'll send it to you for free." And I said, "Thank you very much. That's very, very kind of you." And obviously, I've sent a lot of business Anuj's way over the years, and I still do. Even now, if someone writes me right now, says, "What's Anuj's website?" And I'll send, or "What's a good place to get vintage fragrances?" Straight to Anuj. And it's not just because he does stuff like this. Obviously, the generosity of him over the years is unmatched. He is a gem of the community. But he's also extremely trustworthy. When something goes wrong, he fixed it. When I actually had a problem with a fragrance, he sent me Silver Mountain Water by Creed. It turned, like I knew from the second I sprayed it. It had that turned vinegar, sour, paint thinner smell. He didn't charge me for it. And that was an expensive fragrance, right? He took it off the bill, basically. So Anuj is just that kind of guy, and I really trust him. So this is the fragrance, and it's very, very hard to come by. It is Monsieur Couturier. All right. Now, like I said, this is the aftershave by Jean Couturier. So Monsieur Couturier is the name of the fragrance. The house is Jean Couturier. And look how old this is. Very, very cool. I don't even see a ingredient list at all. Not at all. So this is kind of cool. So let's see. Let me try to open this up without ruining this box. Boxes are the bane of my existence lately, because yesterday I was getting some of, and it's a perfume related injury too. Imagine, I'm a wounded ram because of perfume. So I was up there getting some of the boxes out so I could show you guys, because some people like to see the boxes, and I never really show boxes because I'm not a big packaging guy. Like, it is what it is. It's about the juice for me. But some people like to see the boxes. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to get some of the boxes down. I threw my back out bad. Maybe one of the worst times ever. It was like a lightning bolt of pain. Went to both my hips instantly, and I hit the floor. And so today I've been hobbling around like the hunchback of Notre Dame. Just, it was a rough day at work. I'm probably going to have to work from home tomorrow. So let me open this bad boy. Wow, look at this. Oh, I can smell it from here. It actually has an atomizer on it. That is unbelievable. That is awesome. This is an aftershave with an atomizer. Actually, this smells amazing from the atomizer. So thank you, Anuj. Seriously, very, very kind of you, mate. Very kind. Aftershaves, even though they are I loathe aftershaves because I prefer the EDT. I will wear an aftershave if I can wear the aftershave after shaving and then spray the EDT and do my normal routine. But, this is probably, this right here is probably stronger than most eau de parfums or modern extraits or whatever the hell these houses, try to market themselves nowadays. Man, just the smell from the atomizer smells amazing. So what is Monsieur Couturier? So Monsieur Couturier is a fragrance, and I'll tell you the reason why this was something that I wanted to hunt down was because it came out in 1976, and the perfumer, according to Parfumo, is the great Raymond Chailan, who I have a huge amount of respect and time for. He's somebody who I think makes amazing fragrances, and this is basically a spicy, leathery tobacco fragrance. I mean, it's got my name all over it. All-star perfumer, check. Spicy, leathery tobacco, check. Discontinued, hard to find, double check. Would love to find the eau de toilette one day, but actually, I think I'm going to be very happy with this. I can't wait to wear it. So I will, one of these days, I'll just wear it like it's a perfume and let you guys know what I think. It may be worth hunting down if you're into this kind of thing, which we are into this kind of thing, or you wouldn't be on Channel Ram. So, I'm going to go ahead and place this right here. And then I am going to talk about some of the other things that Anuj sent me. And I will leave the Enchante perfumes. I'll type it out because some people who haven't been there are not familiar with it. But I'll type it out and you know, put it in the description. And actually, I was not expecting this, but there was 2 fragrances from the house of Jean Couturier that I was interested in. And since I can't buy perfume, it sucks because I was asking him, hey, do you have this? Or, you know, and he must have picked up that this was the other one that I wanted, and he sent this as well. Very, very kind of him, which is something you say over and over for the things Anuj does for the community. You hear it said over and over again. He's really a stalwart of the community. So again, thank you, Anuj. I know I can't say it enough, but thank you. This is Jean Couturier 12. So this is also a masculine perfume. And if you're into vintage perfume, which we are, so this is on his website still. You can buy this one. Monsieur Couturier, long gone and damn hard to find. This one, though, you can still buy. And so this is the one that I was looking at his website on. It came out in 1981. And apparently, I don't know who the perfumer is, but apparently this is a woody, leathery, spicy, earthy fougere. It also has my name all over it. And from 81, the holy grail of perfume years. And so I was like, man, I really should have this in my collection. So thank you, Anuj, for righting this wrong. And maybe I'll wear this tomorrow. Very, very amazing. From the atomizer, these are 5 stars. You know, it's impossible to tell from the atomizer, but from the smells that I'm smelling out of the atomizer, I think these are going to be hits. These are my Christmas presents from Anuj. Thank you, Anuj. Seriously. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so let's talk about the title of the video, which maybe I should title it Enchante Perfume Unboxing and Roja Dove instead of Roja Dove Perfume and Enchante Unboxing, because I think that may actually draw more people. But this is, like I said, H the exclusive Parfum pour Homme. And I've been wearing it all day as my scent of the day. I've worn this 4 times. This is a 7.5 ml atomizer, and you can see the dent I've put in this. Probably half gone, right? And this is discontinued. It came out in 2015. So right out of the gate, I have to say something about this scent. So this is one of the exclusive Harrods scent. That's actually what the H stands for, and H the exclusive Parfum pour Homme Parfum. If you look at the bottle, you'll see it has that distinctive Harrods green on the writing, and it has the cap in the distinctive green Harrod Swarovski crystals on the top, right? And so if you go to my playlist, my Roja Dove playlist, you will notice that I reviewed a fragrance called Harrods pour Homme. This is different from Harrods pour Homme. This is H, the exclusive Parfum pour Homme, just in case you're not confused enough. So just keep that in mind. Yes, it is a Harrods exclusive, but it's not the same fragrance as Harrods pour Homme. And then to make matters even more confusing, I reviewed a fragrance called H, the exclusive Oud, or as Roja spells it, Aoud, A-O-U-D. That came out in 2014. That came out 1 year before this, okay? That is also discontinued. That was targeted towards unisex. It was a unisex release. This is a masculine release, H the exclusive Parfum pour Homme. And the Oud version had a lot of like cypriol, if I remember. I haven't smelled it in almost a year probably, but I do have a couple drops left still. And that one was interesting. You know, it at least seemed interesting and different. This one tries to, the note listing tries to make it seem like it's exotic and different. And, you know, it's got a very common Roja note listing. Bergamot in the top, grapefruit and lemon in the top, with plum and cistus in the heart, with pepper, woody notes. And yes, that is a proper way of saying it, woody notes. Oud, patchouli, ambergris, cedarwood, sandalwood, and vetiver. So if you're kind of a newbie, you may go through some of these notes and be like, wow, ooh, this is going to be like a challenging fragrance, and it's $500. You know, I don't know what it was retail. I think it was like $500, something crazy. Who knows? $300 to $500, and probably for 50 mils, right? And I will tell you straight out of the gate, one thing that I have to clear up is this is not a fecal, animalic, challenging oud by any chance. There are comments on some of these databases that say that. You know, animalic opening, challenging, bullshit. My ass. This is like a totally safe, completely safe take. And you know what's interesting is, in my notes I wrote, it's like a kitten without its claws, a basic woody structure in the base that doesn't feel like there is a drop of real oud in it. Now, real quick, I have to give the disclaimer, so Roja doesn't show up in his Louboutin slippers and with a team of lawyers and try to sue me. If he says there's real oud in here, there's real oud in here. I'm saying that to my nose, it doesn't smell like there's real oud in there. It smells synthetic smelling, okay? They didn't do a good job on the accord, is what I'm saying. If there's real oud in there, that's between Roja and God, okay? I'm not involved in that. I would be extremely surprised if there was real oud in here, okay? I will say that. I would be extremely surprised if real oud came up with this. But we'll move on. Let's leave that there. So basically the way that this opens up on your skin when you first spray, I've got about a 3-hour dry down here, and I've been wearing it all day. Like I said, as my scent today. I wore it to work. It's actually perfect for work. That's what it's made for, honestly. And I'll tell you the person who I think about when I think about who would buy this fragrance. So it opens up with a metallic, musky bergamot, okay, with a very sharp lemon. Lemon can sometimes sort of have some vitriol to it. It can have those claws that maybe the kitten hasn't developed yet. And that's why Rich Mitch doesn't like lemon sometimes, is because it can be a little abrasive and tough. The lemon here isn't really like that. It's a smoother combo. Of course, you will get some spices in the opening. The grapefruit adds a little bit of bitterness to the opening, but also a little sweetness. Grapefruit is like that bitter-sweet combo, right? Like sweet and sour, but bitter and sweet. And it opens up with spices. Okay, so you'll notice some Middle Eastern spice smelling things in the top that are maybe not listed. Maybe there's just the tiniest touch of cumin, just to add this exotic smell thing. Or maybe there's a little bit of nutmeg or something. There's something there giving it a little, maybe there's a little cardamom, right? Something that's not listed with the pepper. Pepper is the only real spice note listed. And I think there's more going on than just that, but it's not a huge player, okay? It's a very smooth, likable opening. And the way I would describe this fragrance, if you made me describe it in a couple words, is very gentlemanly and professional. Okay, so maybe when you're at the office, you would go like this, right? Maybe you'd want to go like this, unless you like, you know, everyone seeing your chest hair, which I don't mind. It's a very buttoned up perfume, is why I was saying that. You know, just imagine the fragrance being very buttoned up. Okay, this is a proper up and down. You're not going to offend anyone at the office with this. And if you watched my review of the different Rojas, I've reviewed some of these department store exclusives before. Go check out my review on Harrods Pour Homme. Go check out my review on Goodman's Pour Homme. That's Bergdorf Goodman's Pour Homme. Or I think it's just Goodman's. I think the women's one is Bergdorf and the masculine one is Goodman's, or something is how he did it. And both of those fragrances have a very sort of specific style to them. Like they were created with a specific strategy in mind, okay? There was a strategy behind this. And I actually think it's a fairly smart strategy from a business perspective. And no matter what you think of Roja Dove as a perfumer, or what you think of him as a brand owner and the brand that he's taken, the way he's taken his brand and what he's done to the industry. And to be fair, I think a lot of these price increases you're seeing because of what he has done. He is, I think, caused more price increases from other brands than he realizes, because he used to be such an outlier. He was so much more expensive than all these other brands. And then I think some of these other brands are looking at it going, well, we also want to be ultra luxury niche. You know, we don't want Xerjoff to look less expensive than Roja, or we don't want Tom Ford to look less expensive, or, you know, I mean, name your niche. We don't want Amouage to look less expensive. So fragrances that were $199.99 are now $500, right? It feels that way. And a lot of it has to do with Roja's marketing and pricing strategy, which worked brilliantly for him, okay? Probably, I just imagine Roja in his house you know, who's the duck that swims in the money? Whatever that duck is that swims in the money. I'm in the money. I just imagine Roja just in there, just whoop whoop, flipping dollars and coins, and he has got a top hat on and his Versace lion shirt, and he's just swimming in money. And because the strategy worked out brilliantly, and no matter what you think about him as a perfumer, as a marketer, the man is an absolute genius, pure genius. I mean, you could probably make an entire marketing class based on what he did. Brilliant strategy. And from a perfume lover, it's frustrating as hell, because when he gets on one of these videos or live streams or whatever, it's like listening to a robot or a politician. He repeats the same thing over and over and over and over. When I was a young boy, my mother gave me a kiss, and it was the first time I linked a scent. But the reason he does it is because it works. Repetition works. It's the reason why you hear the same bullshit on the news over and over and over again, because people believe what they hear, right? And so he has come up with this strategy as a marketer, and it's absolutely worked, probably better than it ever would have imagined in his wildest dreams. But he's an amazing marketer. And the reason I'm bringing this up is I think there's a very specific person that he has in mind when he's creating these sort of department store exclusives. They smell different than some of his regular line, you know, much different from things like Creation E or Diaghilev or Danger, Pour Homme, Parfum, or, I mean, you can go down my Roja playlist. I've talked about a lot of Rojas, and there's still more to come, because I haven't reviewed things like Danger or Vetiver, or, you know, there's more Roja reviews to come, okay? PDLN 1, 2, and 3 still need to be reviewed, so there's still more Roja videos to come if you like these videos. If you like me kind of talking shit while also reviewing, there's more to come. So, but this marketing strategy genius, I think the reason that they've purposely decided to make these easier and lighter to wear is because I imagine that there is a specific person he's going for, and that person is sort of a executive, high-powered, short on time, likes going to expensive places and blowing a little money because he works hard and probably doesn't have very much time to even spend the money that he makes, right? Because he makes way more than he could ever spend. And he is walking through the department store, walking through the aisles. Do they even have aisles at Harrods? I don't know. Just the entire floor, the 5th floor of Harrods or wherever the hell he's at. He's walking through there. And it's the first time he's been to a department store in 6 months because he's just so damn busy. Can't think of anything else except for work. And he walks by this thing and he sees $500 on the price tag and he smells it and he goes, yep, give me a bottle. In fact, give me 2. And he's like, this will work perfect for whenever I am on the C-suite in the millionth floor in my office with my feet up. You know, people can come in and they'll smell this amazing smell. And that's about as deep as he's going to think about it, because he's on to more important things, right? And he doesn't care about dropping 500 or 1,000. He won't even know the money's gone, right? The bank account's so fat, it doesn't matter. That's the target audience of these department store exclusives to me. And so when you smell it, and I use words like tame and, you know, gentle and professional and buttoned up, it's all of those things for a reason, because the person that he's targeting for this is not the frag head, I don't think. If you're a frag head, get Diaghilev, or get, you know, Great Britain or something like that, right? This is for the guy who wants to smell good, but know he's wearing something expensive. Say to himself or to others he's wearing something expensive. Reinforce, yes, I made a good move. There's oud in here. It's $500. I have to have made a good move, right? Obviously, I'm a genius buying this. This is a brilliant perfume. It says there's oud in here in the note listing. And so, there is this definite tame down of the fragrance. It's an easier type of wear. I will say that a generic woody note dominates this fragrance through and through. There's this generic woodiness that if you're sensitive to that sort of note, you may just think it's like, man, like you've smelled it before. It's nothing that's gonna blow you away. There's a little bit of this generic spiciness that I guess is supposed to be maybe slightly Middle Eastern in style to go with the, Oriental fruity oud style thing. For me, you're as a frag head, you're probably going to smell this and think, okay, this is competently created. It is. The ingredients are high quality. They are. But does it move you? I would doubt for the 60 people who were in my stream this last Sunday, yesterday, I would doubt a single one. Maybe the guy who was asking about Parfum de Marly and they're still maybe newer to the fragrance game, right? One of the newbies. But I think for most people in there, you would smell this and go, man, I've smelled this so many times, it's just kind of meh. It doesn't stand out. It has no personality. It just lies there. It's very boring. It's competently created, like so many things nowadays. It's well put together. But this does not move me one iota, I have almost zero feelings for this, if that makes sense. And so the other thing I should mention about this fragrance is this plum note that everyone goes on and on about. And what's funny is there are some folks who compare it to Penhaligon's Halfeti, which I must admit I've never smelled. I do have a bottle of Halfeti Cedar, but I think that goes in a different direction. Never smelled the OG Halfeti. And there's other people who compare it to Tom Ford's Plum Japonais. Now, I will tell you that this is also discontinued and goes for crazy money online, just like I'm sure this one does as well. Anything discontinued, these people think they're sitting on their retirement fund or something. I'm going to sell my Plum Japonais bottle for 100 grand one day. They're absolutely insane, right? But there's just this comparison to anything with a plum note in it that I just find humorous. This, by the way, this smells, in case you haven't noticed where I'm going with this smells nothing like Plum Japonais. Absolutely nothing. Plum Japonais takes much more of a sort of boozy side of things. It's got that vanillic cinnamon and that Tom Ford amber, which I love. I really like how Tom Ford does amber. But this is a completely different take on Plum. 100% different. And so the Plum and H, the exclusive Parfum, the way I would describe the Plum in here is imagine you took like a butcher knife and a plum, right? And you just samurai slice the plum and you let some of the juices drip on this very generic wood, okay? And I say generic wood on purpose because that's what the woodiness in this smells like to me. It smells extremely generic, like, how sometimes particle board takes a bunch of like splinters of wood and compresses them together, right? This feels like it's just taking a bunch of different types of wood, some cedar, some sandalwood, some other type of wood, which Roja just calls woody notes, or Parfumo just calls woody notes, which is probably some, molecule from Robertet or whoever it is, right? And lumps it together and just smashes it together, compresses it together to make what looks like a piece of wood, but it's really a bunch of little compressed pieces. That's what the woodiness smells like in here. Very generic. And just imagine sort of this image of cutting into a plum and letting the juices and maybe a piece of the skin just sort of fall onto that generic particle board smelling wood, right? Now, what's interesting is as I was thinking about this image, if that was a real piece of oud, that photo would actually make a badass sort of advertisement, right? The plum dripping almost blood-like in color on this piece of oud. That's a badass advertisement as far as I'm concerned. But what goes into my head is this generic, boring particle board thing. But the Plum is well executed. Plum doesn't really move me. The problem with Plum is that I really feel like if I really want Plum, I would just wear Rochas Femme. I know I always show my bottle of the vintage Parfum de Toilette of Rochas Femme, but this is the pure Parfum. Again, I got this from Enchante. Speaking of amazing vintage fragrances, this is probably 25 years old, give or take, if I had to guess. I don't know for sure, 25, 30 years old. And this is, I mean, oh my God. You talk about an Oriental that does Plum correctly. No contest. Rochas Femme wipes the floor with H, the exclusive Parfum pour Homme Parfum. And so, I mean, what else can I say about H, the exclusive Parfum pour Homme Parfum that I haven't already said? I think it's a little bit of an insult to anybody who is interested in perfumery for the artistic sake. My guess is that these will be a million times more artistically interesting than what I'm going to get out of this. And just the fact that Roja, that the house of Roja, not the man, but Roja Parfums thinks maybe adding a little bit of patchouli in the base and a tiny bit of peppery spiciness and this generic woodiness makes it an oud accord is almost annoying, if not offensive, to oud heads, proper oud heads. But again, that's not the target audience that they're going for. They're going for somebody completely different. And I think their marketing strategy is working brilliantly. Even though this is discontinued, they're on to other things. So I heard, the other thing I should mention before we go is that I heard some people refer to this fragrance as a fougere with oud. And since I'm on a little bit of a roll here, I might as well tackle this one as well. Technically, if you want to get technical about it, a fougere has things like lavender, oak moss, coumarin, or tonka bean, which I actually have actual tonka bean dipped here from a previous review yesterday. It's so beautiful. Just, God, the spiciness of it and the sort of nutty earthiness of it and the slight hay-like tobacco quality is so beautiful in the real thing. This is, I mean, I've never smelled a fragrance that perfectly captures this, ever, ever, ever. I've got some good tonka bean fragrances, but never have I ever smelled a fragrance that captures this. This could be a perfume in and of itself. It's so beautiful. But modern tonka, I really feel like butchers the note a little bit. It makes it too disgustingly sweet. But, a fougere is supposed to have things like tonka, coumarin, geranium, right? There's usually a geranium note in fougere. There's none of that. Zero. It's not like, oh, it's got lavender and geranium, but it's missing the tonka, and it's got the oak moss, or it's missing one, and it's got 3 or 4 others. There are none of those notes in here. There is no lavender. There is no oak moss, according to the note breakdown. There is a vetiver that maybe could give off a little bit of a green thing, but there's no tonka. There's no coumarin, tonka bean. There's no geranium. There's none of that. 0 elements of a fougere are in here. So I think calling this a fougere with oud is a little bit ignorant of just what a fougere is, classically, the proper definition, if you want to get technical about it. But I will yield and say that there is something about this fragrance that maybe wears like, it elicits the feelings of how a fougere may wear, that kind of thing. But technically, this is nothing like a fougere, and much closer in execution to some of his, something like Herod's Pour Homme, which I think that one is a proper fougere, but it feels more like the style, the safer style of what he's trying to create than the perfume itself, if that makes sense. So, and the last thing I will mention is if you can overlook everything I've said and let the fragrance dry down and just sort of close your eyes and focus on the sparkly woody aspect as it gets into the 3, 4, 5 hour dry down. It's a soft fragrance, so it's not going to shout, but there is something that is nice. All right. And nice is a 4-letter word, but I don't mean, sometimes you mean nice like shit. Sometimes you mean nice like it's actually nice. This is actually a nice woody take on a dry down, but it's not the oud dry. So if you're expecting the oud, you're going to be disappointed. But if you just kind of focus on the sandalwood and pretend that you're smelling this amazing high quality sandalwood woodiness, that particle board goes away once it gets into the 4, 5, 6 hour, and it just becomes a softer, um, just sparkly woodiness, generic but nice. Okay, in a good way, not a shit way, a good way. And the last thing I'll say about Roja, since we're now saying good things about the brand, and I do like the brand. I don't want you to get this mistaken. I mean, I have a ton of Rojas, and I spend my own money. I think a lot of the beef with Roja is that he turned into an influencer brand. We started handing out free bottles, and from a marketer, he's a genius, okay? From a marketer, he's a genius. But I feel like some of the things that he did have changed the industry for the worse. And what I mean by that is the pricing model example I gave earlier with the other houses following suit. It is screwing the average perfume lover. You can't go to a counter nowadays and smell a 50 mil of a Tom Ford. I know this one's discontinued, but I'm just holding this up as an example. And whatever the new Tom Ford is, electric cherry, and you go, oh, okay, I think I maybe like that, which you might second guess yourself if you're having those thoughts anyway. But let's say you smell the new electric cherry and you think, you know what, I'm gonna buy this. How much? And the lady goes $399, and you're like, fuck you. There's no way in hell I'm paying that, right? Or whatever the hell the Tom Ford pricing is. I don't know what it is, 300. But I think some of the things that he has done have made other houses try and sort of keep up. And one of the things he did outside of price was the free bottles. I mean, when Roja gives out free bottles, when you see everyone go look at some of those old channels from when the Parfum colognes came out, right? And I mean, it's literally like within a week of each other, you'll find like 10 to 20 videos of people dropping their new Parfum cologne, and they don't have one. They have the entire line sent to them. Like $2,000 worth of fragrances right there, right? In this line of perfumes. And they do one video on it, move on. But it's a genius marketing strategy from Roja's standpoint. But I feel like now other houses have to try and do that. I think some of the darker parts of Fragcom have come out because of Roja's strategies. So, but putting all that stuff aside, what I will say about the House of Roja, and the reason that I spent my own hard-earned money on these bottles over here, which are not cheap, is because of the fact that when you smell a Roja Dove fragrance, you're never going to get something with a big, disgusting dose of amber woods, right? So you're not going to get something like Unique Luxury. You're not going to get some of the cheaper smelling Parfum de Marly or Initio fragrances, which make me want to throw up, right? You're not going to get some of that. You are going to get a competently well-made and a fragrance house that sort of focuses on the classical side of fragrances as well. There is a nod to the past with some of his fragrances. I feel like this kind of stuff is trying to keep up with the times and sell, and but there is a side of Roja, at least early on. I think that is gone, unfortunately. I truly do. I think the house has morphed and changed for the worse. The part of Roja that I used to love, I already feel like it's gone. But you smell something like Diaghilev, and how can you not look back with adoration on the fact that it smells like a blend of Azure, Bandi, Mitsuko, Rochas Femme? It's like blending some of the all-time greats. Maybe a little bit of Aramis in there from the 60s for men. If you know perfumery and you smell Diaghilev, I mean, that is a fragrance that moves me, right? So to Roja's credit, his fragrances are well put together, and they don't seem like they take shortcuts. And you're not going to smell like when I smell amberwoods. This may sound harsh, but this is 100% the truth. When I smell a disgusting slug of amberwoods in there that isn't executed properly, because you can use amberwoods properly. I'm not saying all amberwoods are bad, but when you smell it in a way where it just smells like a chemical sludge, and it smells like a Unique Luxury fragrance, which is my most hated brand. I hate Unique Luxury. Unique Luxury is one of the most disgusting brands I've ever smelled. Just absolutely horrendous. Go watch my live stream if you want to laugh, of Unique Luxury. It's on my channel. Under the live streams, you'll see it. And Unique Luxury, when you smell those, it just smells like a low class, like someone that has no class, right? They think because they're paying $300 for a fragrance that it makes them seem like they have class and style, but they don't realize that that specific smell, to me, to many perfumistas and perfume heads and perfume addicts, smells cheap and disgusting and low class is the way I think of it. Somebody that is trying to buy their way into having class, but failing miserably, and everyone's kind of laughing at them. Except with fragrance, you have to use your nose to laugh at them. When you wear something, you can visually see, it's easier to see, man, that person doesn't know how to dress. Or, what's funny about class and style is that you could take a $30 outfit and make it look amazing. You can make it look better than the way that some people wear $1,000 t-shirt from Versace or whatever it is, right? Louis Vuitton, just because it has that LV all over it. If you don't know how to wear it, it doesn't matter. You could take the $30 outfit from Forever 21 and wear it better than the person with the LV and Christian Dior all over their denim, right? So that's my take on it. And so with Roja, I do feel like he is a little one notch ahead of some of these other houses in execution and materials and all of that stuff. But there are pros and cons, and you do have to be objective. That's why I like doing these videos, because very few people are willing to be objective about it. They're going to get on here, especially if they got something for free, and they're going to talk about how great it is. So since I don't have that commitment to Roja, I can say what I want. I hope I've given you a fair assessment of the scent. I hope you liked the Enchante unboxing. I knew this was coming. This was a surprise. So thank you, Anuj. Seriously, very, very kind of you. And if you're looking for vintage fragrances, I'll link the Enchante link below. Let me know what you think. If you've smelled H, the exclusive Parfum pour Homme Parfum, leave your comments. Leave it in the comment section. Again, thanks for the support, everyone. Don't forget, December 10th, noon Central Standard Time. That's a Sunday. We are going to have the great Sultan Pasha on, the maestro of scent, the Mozart of Attars. So I hope you guys can join. It is an absolute pleasure to have someone like Sultan Pasha on the stream. So come ready with your questions, and it's going to be a fantastic Sunday together. So I hope I can see you all there. Cheers, guys. Catch you next time. Bye-bye.